Good afternoon. Welcome to Meron, Israel. After last week's disappointment, we just got in the car and came up to Meron for Shabbat. It's kind of like an extended Lag BaOmer. Well, now it's Lach BaOmer. But when we come to these holy places, especially Meron, of course, we're looking for a spark, a renewal, a new beginning of something that we know is there, and yet we have to work for it. But how does it actually work? The Arizal explains that when you go to the grave of a righteous person and you say the words of his Torah, you're pulling the soul of the one who said those words 2,000 years ago into yourself. And by speaking them, you're bringing them out into now. Now, this is a deeply mystical idea. Somebody said words of Torah 2,000 years ago, and now we say them and we're dragging the dragging the righteous out of the grave and bringing him into 2024. Tafshin Pei Daled. Tia Shanat Peduye. Ay, ay, ay. Hostages. So, but is it really that mystical? Think about it. You're saying holy words that originally began with the inspiration of the Torah being spoken to Moses by God. God put those words into Moses. Moses spoke them into the nation, into the world. The nation received them, shared them, every generation until today. God's words into Moses' mouth, into every ear and every mouth that came after them. It truly is a living chain. But you say, no, Avram, that's too long ago, that's too hard, that's too far away. But it really isn't if you live it, because you see that you are listening to your great grandfather speaking Torah as a little boy, and hopefully your child is listening to you say those words. He receives them, he hears them, he speaks them himself. So they are the same words. Now it's a different brain, a different mouth, to a different brain, into another mouth, and so on. The chain of life continues. And the switch really is the belief that our souls have this spark that doesn't die. Obviously, there's a spark, there's a part of us that dies, that no longer becomes useful to us, that no longer is part of this extended journey in this physical realm. But the soul is not bound by that extended journey in the physical realm. The true soul, the true you, not the true you that loves ice cream and paychecks, the true us that loves creation and loves its creator and loves people and loves nature and loves truth. That part of us doesn't die, because that part of us is coming from this original chain of ideas. And okay, you can still walk away from this little talk and not believe it. But perhaps just walk away from this talk being willing to be shown. 35 years ago, I had to make that switch in my head go off because it was too hard a thing. It was too far out. It was too mystical. It was too abstract. But I said, they're saying this, and the secular world is not giving me anything to build a life on, really, except the desire for more. Whatever is trying to sell me, the only philosophy is more. That doesn't get you too far. So I said, okay, look, let's try something. I'm going to be willing to see, willing to experience it. And so my nephew said, why don't you have a beard? I said, a beard? That's a little clumsy now at this, late stage in my motorcycle development. And then the next day, I said to God, God, if you want me to have a beard, give me a sign. And I went out to Santa Monica Beach. And this really crazy looking hippie came out of nowhere on the beach. The beach was completely empty on a Sunday morning. And he says, holy men have beards. Why don't you have a beard? He just said it, not like, hi, how are you? You got a buck? Can you spare a beer? No, he didn't say anything. He came straight out of nowhere and said those words. I got up out of my yoga posture and he was gone. I said, I asked for a sign and God sent something. Now I get to choose if it's real. I can dismiss it, or I can have a little more integrity and say, look, I asked and there's the sign. Does it change your life? Well, a little bit. I grew my beard. And as you can see, it's doing fine. And then it's the next mitzvah, and then it's the next choice, and then it's the next time we decide to be the intersection between the divine and the physical, between the upper world and the lower, between above time and in time. And every moment of your day, you are able to choose that choice. If you choose to, ask the question. That's my blessing for this Shabbat. Be brave, be courageous, ask the question, be willing to be shown. Don't make a decision, a final vote. Oh God, I'm with you. I'm with the religious, or no, God, it's too hard. It's too much. Just be willing to see, to be shown, and let the director write the rest of the script. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you next week on all the outlets.